to answer the first question, I think I've been trying to figure out how to stay productive without pressuring myself to be too productive. And I think I've really had to reflect on both my hyper competitive school culture and also just the pressure that I put on myself to be always working, and how that's unhealthy, both as a general concept, but especially at a time like this, where the expectations and opportunities that are available to us have just completely shifted. And then I think in terms of what I'm learning about myself, I've realized that I really do enjoy learning for its own sake, and that having the time to read more and look at the articles I've had saved on my laptop for ages, and also just explore new hobbies like writing or playing piano more, has really taught me that I can trust myself to know my own needs and wants, even if there aren't these external expectations on me. And then lastly, I think in terms of how I want to use this time to change the world, I really think this is the perfect time to think about how we can revolutionize education. I think there are both a lot of campaigns like the test optional campaign and people advocating for pass fail grading, and then also just broader questions about equity and access when it comes to digital learning and non-traditional instruction that we're really having to confront, and that we should have been thinking about for years, but that are finally at the forefront of our conversations.
Sadie for president. Woo! That was cool. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Sadie. Beautiful. That was so succinct and very, very, yeah, just critical and a lot of depth in that. Loved it. Wow. Wish I could speak like that. Okay, who's next?
I can go. So I think during this pandemic, I am really learning time management skills. So I am coping by trying to keep myself busy, but like Sadie said, not always working all the time. Just trying to focus on hobbies and spending more time with my family is something that was really lacking before, because we all usually have really busy schedules, and now we can finally just spend more time to bond. I am learning more about, I think, human nature. People want to spend time with other people and do social events and all these different things, but there are times like these where we have to place limits on our desires, and I think that everyone is learning a lesson about themselves in what they're able to cope with. I think that this time can definitely teach us valuable lessons on communication all across the globe, different organizations, countries, governments, and we can use this in the future to help prevent major global crises such as these.
Yes, Faye, beautiful. Loving it. This is so great. Yeah, beautiful. I think thinking about human nature and actually how closely connected we are, not just in terms of like systemic analysis, but like socially as well. I think it's so true. And I think it has been a surprise for people to be like, oh, actually, I like being around people. That's actually really important for me. And there is a limit to that. Which we probably never imagined before, right? Like almost when this initially happened, when it hit, about 80% of my work was just wiped out, gone. And it was the first time that I was like, oh, my work literally depends on people being able to be together. That's shifted, true. Now we're going virtual, but still, like, it was, a question that came up. So really beautiful insight there, Faye. Thank you. Cool. Who is next?
I'll go next.
Great. Thanks, Fiona.
So, I think right now I'm trying to like find a balance between spending a lot of time with family and also like catching up with friends on FaceTime and stuff, because we just don't get to see each other as often. And also like how Faye and Sadie said, like trying to be productive while also giving myself a break and actually taking this time to like rest and recover and stuff. And I think also what I'm learning about like with my family is like how we have to like work together because we're all trying to like do different things at the same time, but also trying to find a way to like for everyone to get done what they need to get done, you know, while also having time to, you know, go on a walk around the neighborhood and like get outside together and stuff like that. And also I've noticed a lot of my neighbors are out and about during the day because everyone's just bored out of their minds. So we've had a lot of more interactions with people like across the street and stuff than we would in normal time. And then how would we want to use this time to change the world? I think since we have a lot of more downtime than normal, we can like plan for when we get back together and like collaborations and like partnerships with different like nonprofits and stuff like that to bring them to my local community. That's what I'm trying to do, because I have that time to plan that I probably won't get once we go back to the full swing of meeting people and going back to like regular school and stuff. So just trying to make the most of the time that we have.
Cool. Thank you, Siona. Wonderful, wonderful words. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, again, beautiful kind of depiction about how actually we are starting to see how the micro, right, is often very much a reflection of the macro. So not only, which is what I was saying on the last call, but also I really loved the way you were talking about like in your family system, for example, like you all have different tasks that you're having to do and you're having to learn how to coexist and like be able to work with each other in order to work on all of your separate stuff. And like how can we think about that on a societal level where, you know, that you've got however many people in the UK, it's like 68 million people who are trying to do the same thing, and you know, in our kind of family societal system. And so really looking at that like reflection between the micro and the macro and how we are co-living, coexisting is really important, and it does often begin at home. So really appreciate you bringing that. Cool.